Poppin' crypto fam, please let me know in the live chat if you can see and hear me loud and clear before we kick off today's show. Welcome Bitcoin Maximus, welcome Digital Dankness, welcome Sailing with Twins. It's good to see the crypto fam in the building. As you can see, we have the crypto market pumping. Good morning, Renee. Lawrence, I appreciate the super chat contribution. Let me know in the comments real quick if you can see me loud and clear, and we will kick off today's big show with so much to share. As always, there's so much going on in the crypto markets. So yeah, let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me loud and clear. And until I get the okay, that's where we're going to begin and kick off today's show. Big Jones in the digital building. Welcome, Big Jones. Let me know if you guys can see and hear me clearly. Ellen, good morning, family. Always a pleasure. Good to see ya. Who else we have in the live chat? Holla at your boy. And let me know if you can see and hear me loud and clear. And until I get that okay, we're not going to begin. Loud and clear from Bitcoin Maximus. I appreciate that. In today's show, Bitcoin hits a new yearly high of $21,500. And this just in, breaking news, Bitcoin price has increased for 14 days straight, a single day away from making a new record. Let's go. Also in today's show, Silvergate reports $1 billion net loss in the fourth quarter of 2022. The report highlighted that deposits in the fourth quarter were $7.3 billion, which was lower than the third quarter figure of $12 billion. Also in today's show, defunct crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital founders are seeking $25 million to start a new exchange amid scrutiny, and the new name for this is GTX. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Also in today's show, Bitcoin is forming a bottom akin to the 2018 with one key difference, according to Bloomberg analyst Mike McGlone. Also in today's show, the World Economic Forum predicts Metaverse tech will change the industry first, moving to the consumer space later. That's right. For the organization, the biggest impact of the implementation of this tech will be observed in industrial environments, where it will contribute to carrying out more tasks and reducing expenses. Also in today's show, legendary trader Peter Brandt unveils his bullish outlook for the King crypto and shares how high Bitcoin may soar. And according to the trader's chart, Bitcoin could start a new bull market after breaking out of the inverse head and shoulder pattern en route to $70,000, first before correcting back down to $33,000 and then rallying all the way up to around $175,000 in 2025. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. And welcome everyone tuning in to today's live episode of Crypto News Alerts. This is podcast episode number 1166 of the Crypto News Alerts pod. I'm your host JV, and today is January 17th, 2023. And checking out the market watch here, you can see Bitcoin pumping up 0.7% for the day, trading at 21,150 at the time of this live stream. We got Ether up 1.5%, trading just under $1,600. And as you can see, all of the major cryptos are pumping and in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we can see the current crypto market cap sitting at roughly $991 billion, with about $50 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the Bitcoin dominance at 41.1% and the Ether dominance at 19.4%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, we have Casper leading the pack up 15%, trading just above 3.7 cents, followed by Aave up 12%, trading above 87 bucks, followed by Gala up 12%, trading just above 5 cents. Below that, we have FXS as well as Curved Out Token. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, we have FTT up a whopping 75%, Mana, which is the Central Land, up 77%, and just massive overall gains for the entire crypto altcoin market, which is a great indicator. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, it shows we are currently rated a 51 in neutral. About time, as the bulk of the year for 2022, we were stuck in fear and extreme fear. So it's good to see it change. And welcome once again to everyone just tuning in to today's live show. Let me know if you feel we're likely more bullish or bearish with the current price action setup as we dive into today's Bitcoin. technical analysis and check out some of the charts. Bitcoin hit new 2-month highs overnight into January 19th as suspicions over the market's validity gained momentum. And I think it means January 17th, obviously, and not the 19th, as we're not currently in the future. But nonetheless, I digress. Data from Cointelegraph Market Report and TradingView followed Bitcoin as it consolidated above 21,000 after hitting 21,500 on Bitstamp. That marked the pair's highest point yet this year in 2023, the latest accomplishment in a bullish recovery unchallenged since the FTX debacle. Amid widespread mistrust of the move, however, fresh warnings arose as Bitcoin continued to defy predictions of a major retracement. Analyzing order book composition for Bitcoin on the largest exchange, Binance, material indicators expressed surprise that those bidding Bitcoin higher had not yet pulled support. Quoting him here, been expecting the block of bids placed Friday the 13th the rug, but it's attracted over 2x the amount of bid liquidity into the range, which is short-term bullish. It commented, in my opinion, this move seems choreographed, not fighting it, but limiting exposure to manage risk. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analysts. Now, as Cointelegraph reported, whales were already in the spotlight after mass buying ensued last week. Quoting them here, they are trying to attract more bids to exploit the thin upside liquidity. We could debate 100 different strategic reasons why, but the net effect of big increases in bid liquidity is the same, at least until we retest the local lows and they start rugging support. Now, fellow trader Binazine General noted similarly unusual order book composition at derivatives platform Deribit with support between $20,000 and $21,000. Deribit's books looks interesting. It's not often so skewed to one side, it argued. Now, doubts over the rally staying power, meanwhile, extended beyond exchanges. In a blog post published by analytics platform CryptoQuant January 16th, their contributor flagged potential insufficient demand. The reason, it said, was due to Bitcoin moving back to exchanges for sale while stablecoin supplies dwindled. Recent Bitcoin rally has led to market participants depositing their Bitcoin from cold storage to spot exchanges for profit taking. Such increase in selling pressure allows, along with the decreasing reserve of stablecoins for purchases, will likely lead to a short-lived recovery rally. More demand is needed for the rally to be sustainable. So there you have it. But one thing to point out here, we're making history. We're only one day away. Bitcoin price increased 14 days in a row, just a single day away from making a historic new record, which you can see the record was back all the way in November of 2013. We had 15 days of positive, continuous price action on the rise. And now the second longest streak is now January of 2023 with 14 days in a row. Do you feel we're likely to go another day and surpass the potential record and maybe even go to 16 days? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And then in July of 2020, we had 10 days of increased price action, followed by September of 2017. We also had 10 days. So there you have it. And welcome to everyone just tuning in to today's live show. Our next story of the day is Silvergate. Check this out. They report a $1 billion net loss in the fourth quarter of 2022. Silvergate Bank, which currently faces a class action lawsuit over its FTX and Alameda Research dealings, has announced a $1 billion net loss attributable to the common shareholders in the fourth quarter of last year. In a recent report published by the U.S. SEC, the digital asset bank highlighted that it saw significant outflows of deposits in the last quarter of 2022 and made actions to maintain the cash liquidity, including wholesale funding and selling debt securities. The company also highlighted a transformational shift in the digital asset space, noting that a crisis of confidence throughout the ecosystem led customers to take risk-off positions on crypto trading platforms. And according to the report, the average digital asset customer deposits in the fourth quarter of 2022 was $7.3 billion. This is significantly lower compared to the third quarter of 2022, where deposits were around $12 billion. So despite the losses, the company notes that it has taken action to prepare for a sustained period of lower deposits. And according to the announcement, Silvergate is managing its expense base and evaluating its product portfolio and customer relationships. Amid the challenges, Silvergate CEO Alan Lane highlights that the company still believes in the digital asset industry and remains committed to maintaining a highly liquid balance sheet with a strong capital position. Now, on January 5th, the company laid off around 200 employees executives, which accounted for roughly 40% of its workforce as part of its efforts to stay afloat. In addition, the company also shelved plans to launch a digital currency project, writing off $200 million used to purchase technology developed by Facebook, taking losses on losses. Reacting on the situation, rating firm Moody's Investor Service downgraded its ratings for Silvergate Bank. The rating went from Baa2, which was the lower medium grade, to Baa1, which is considered junk. And apart from this, Moody also highlighted that the outlook for both Silvergate Capital and its bank is negative. Not so good as the contagion continues in the crypto markets. Now let's dissect our next story of the day and discuss GTX exchange, which is kind of reminiscent of FTX. Now, the kicker here, this is from the defunct crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital founders seeking $25 million to start this new exchange. That's right, there's a flurry of reports and screenshots of the alleged pitch deck and website that claims that the two Three Arrows Capital founders, Suzu and Kyle Davies, are attempting to raise $25 million from investors. They allegedly want to start a new exchange called GTX. The crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital filed for Chapter 15 bankruptcy protection during the first week of July 2022. As pointed out here, Three Arrows Capital founders are aiming to raise $25 million for the new crypto exchange GTX. What could potentially go wrong, right? Now, it's alleged the company's liquidators had difficulty communicating with the two co-founders. Suzu and Davies were recently served subpoenas via Twitter, and additionally, reports indicated Three Arrows Capital is allegedly being investigated for potential legal violations by the U.S. SEC as well as the CFTC. And in addition, Suzu and Davies, two CoinFlex executives, Mark Lamb and Sadhu Arguman, are also mentioned as being part of the new team. CoinFlex, like Three Arrows Capital, also suffered from the financial issues and filed for restructuring services late last August. Now, of course, the alleged pitch deck and website screenshots were shared on social media, and Three Arrows Capital founders were widely mocked. Both founders have been more active on social media recently, but they have not addressed the recent speculation about them starting a new crypto exchange called GTX, and at this time, it has not been officially confirmed whether the Three Arrows Capital duo is starting a new crypto exchange. All I know is this: if these guys were likely to get the funding and start the exchange, how many of you would actually trust them and put your hard-earned crypto in their exchange, GTX? Let me know in the comments right down below. And with that being shared, now let's discuss our next story of the day and the latest technical analysis. As per Bloomberg analyst Mike McGlone, the Bloomberg senior commodity strategist believes that Bitcoin could be developing a bottom in the same way it did prior to the 2019 bull run, but said there is a major difference this time around. During a new interview January 16th with crypto podcaster Scott Melker, McGlone argued, unlike in 2018, when financial institutions such as the Fed were easing interest rates, this time they'll still be tightening along with every central bank. Back then, the Fed already started easing and we held the bottom and broke out higher, and then we had that issue in 2019. Right now, they're tightening aggressively. So if you look at that, you can't be too excited about any markets. Give it some time. Big picture, yes, really bullish Bitcoin, McGlone added. McGlone also warned that Bitcoin might not see a surge being predicted just yet, as there are challenging macroeconomic conditions and pressure from interest rate hikes. He believes that the Nasdaq is likely to dip below its 200-week moving average, which he claims is another indication that Bitcoin's price rally may not happen soon. Quoting McGlone here, liquidity is being pulled away still, and if the Nasdaq breaks down, everything breaks down. Bitcoin is going to be a part of it. I still think it's going to come out ahead. So to me, that's where we stand. Let me know if you agree or disagree with McGlone. He also said that the market has entered an unprecedented environment where we're having bounces in what we know are bear markets, and the Fed just says, sorry, we're taking the punch bowl away. We're not giving it to get back to you. I still think we're in the midst of the biggest macroeconomic reset of our lifetimes. We just had a 100-year event in terms of the pandemic. We're having a historic war in Europe, and we're having a historic shift in political leadership in China. I mean, it's going back to the days of the Soviet Union when you have one leader and are expected to be economically viable. So there you freaking have it. What are your thoughts surrounding all of that? Let me know in the comments right down below, which leads us to our next story of the day, and that's the World Economic Forum. I'm not a fan of them personally, but they're heavily embracing the Metaverse, which is interesting to say the least. So let's break this down. The World Economic Forum believes that the Metaverse will be first applied in industrial environments instead of being adopted first by consumers. In a new article published January 13th, the organization predicts that the implementation of the metaverse will be done at an industrial level first, helping different companies to complete designing and monitoring tasks in a more efficient way. Two of the metaverse technologies that will become integral for the industry in this new phase are digital twins and extended reality. Implementing digital twins, we're not talking about the Winklevoss twins, just FYI. The digitalization of group of elements coming from the real world will allow testing the functionality of an element or examining the possible inefficiencies of an assembly line or simply prototyping a model without having to build it physically. Now, extended reality, another of the technologies mentioned in the article, will allow designers to mix elements from the real world with digital elements to examine the interactions between them both. These technologies are already being adopted by several companies, including automaker Renault, which launched its industrial metaverse in November, aiming to save $330 million by 2025 with the implementation. Interesting, eh? While there is significant focus on the consumer metaverse from companies like Meta, which have been investing billions of dollars into the sector, the World Economic Forum believes that industries will be the ones pushing innovation. Quoting the article here, we will develop many technologies for the industrial metaverse that will make their own way into the consumer metaverse, from micro optics and advanced haptic interfaces to AI sensing awareness. Now, the organization believes that once these two different metaverses are established, one will be able to improve the other and vice versa. However, it recommends shifting the focus from putting resources into the consumer metaverse to putting them into the industrial metaverse, which is already happening in various sectors. The World Economic Forum has referred to the metaverse before. This is nothing new, issuing recommendations for maintaining safety and privacy in metaverse worlds in May of 2022, especially when including children as part of these environments. What are your thoughts surrounding the future of the metaverse and metaverses, as there are many of them, not just one universally? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, obviously, I do not trust the World Economic Forum as far as I can trust them, but I'll be keeping you up to date and with the latest or whatever they have to share with ongoing updates regarding adoption of the metaverse. With that being shared, now let's discuss and dissect our breaking story of the day, and that's a $175,000 Bitcoin price prediction from veteran trader Peter Brandt. Let's break it down, shall we? Veteran trader Peter Brandt's predicting a bullish scenario for the King crypto that can propel the King crypto to a fresh all-time high in 2 years. Send it. Let's frickin' go. Brandt tells his 700,000 Twitter followers that while it's within the realm of possibility for Bitcoin to launch a new bull market this year, in reality, nobody knows what will really happen. He makes a great point. Quoting him here, any idiot can make wild guesses about markets. So here's my dunce hat prediction. In reality, nobody has a clue what any given market will do. Looking at the trader's charts, he appears to be outlining a possible inverse head and shoulders pattern for Bitcoin that can push the King crypto above $30,000 by the second quarter of this year. Let's go. An inverse head and shoulders formation is one of the patterns that traders look for as it indicates the potential end of a downtrend. Brandt also shows a chart that shows Bitcoin's possible long-term price action, and here's where things get quite exciting. You can see Bitcoin surpassing $175,000. So checking out the chart, Bitcoin can start a new bull market after breaking out of the inverse head and shoulders pattern en route to $70,000 before first correcting back to $33,000 and then rallying to around $175,000 in 2025. And at the time, Bitcoin is switching hands at around 21,200. So a move towards Brandt's long-term target suggests an upside potential of over 731%. For the King crypto. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this bullish price prediction by Peter Brandt. I also want to throw in there some other bullish price predictions. Credible Crypto is predicting a $150,000 Bitcoin rally this year in 2023. We also have Tim Draper, extremely bullish, predicting a $250,000 Bitcoin price by the second half of this year as well. And we also have Max Kaiser predicting a multiple six-figure Bitcoin price in 2023, taking us to new all-time highs. Now, how many of you feel that an all-time high may be likely, but not likely this year, but potentially the year of the halving, 2024, or the year preceding the halving, which would be 2025, which is when Peter Brandt is predicting this $175,000 price action? Let me know in the comments below. Also like to throw out there that the stock-to-flow model is also predicting a six-figure Bitcoin price somewhere between 2024 and 2025. 2025. And let's also keep in mind that we have 4-year cyclical cycles. And if history repeats, because it doesn't necessarily always rhyme, but if it repeats or rhymes, it doesn't necessarily repeat, but often rhymes is what I meant to say, that we may see some extremely bullish price action post Bitcoin halving, but anything is still possible and up in the air for 2023. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. So let me know in the comments, where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to take us for a high of this year in 2023? Do you think we're likely to surpass 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, potentially 100,000? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below, which leads us to my favorite segment of the live show, which is the live Q&A. And welcome to everyone joining us here in the live chat. Ellen, welcome. Nate, welcome. Maximus in the building. Good to see you, Sailing with Twins. Nate, good to see you as well. We have Dan Drummond, always a pleasure. Mikey likes it. We got SpongeBob SquarePants, Digital Dankness, Joe Voss from Medellin, Colombia. Was good, family. Good to see you. Bring Facts in the building. We got a lot of the day ones here, the true Bitcoin OGs. Welcome, 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 welcome. Good to see the fam. Big Jones, always good to see you, family. Roof. Raise the roof. That's what's up. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support. Mad Love from Jersey. Welcome, Crypto for Cardano. Good to see you, family. I take it you're bullish on Cardano. Glad to see you back, Ellen, after our brief chat yesterday. That's right. Welcome back. It's good to see the fam. Me and my frosted nuggy trees say hi. Hi to you and your frosted nuggy trees. And happy 420 while we're at it. Bring Facts says sour livers in the bowl. 24 karat blood orange haze. Fuji State, strawberry nuggets, strawberry crinkle. Oh my God, you get me excited here. Grape crinkle, mango smile, just to name a few. Flowers coming next month. God bless you. Puff puff pass as we stack them sats, says Dankness. Ellen says, wow, that's impressive. Bring Facts. It's not so easy to grow. I had some seeds. They wouldn't even sprout. There's definitely a science to it. Maximus says, brothers and sisters, what we do in life echoes in eternity. So smash that like button for our JV. I greatly appreciate that, my crypto fam. It means the world to me. As the greatest compliment you can do is just smash the like button and show the YouTube algorithm what's really good. What's good, JV, says Joe Voss. Time to place that 10x long. Let's go. Bitcoin, good morning. I do not recommend anyone place a 10x long or short because trading with leverage is extremely risky. You can get liquidated like that. If you're going to trade and go long, just bet on Bitcoin and hold it. If you want to really mess with leverage, I cannot imagine personally ever exceeding 2x leverage, and that's just me. So 10x, extremely risky, and I would never advise anyone to do that regardless of the situation, because the market maker is going to win and they're going to liquidate you at the end of the day, is more than likely what's going to happen. So express extreme caution when trading with leverage. You know what I mean? What's good? Good to see you as well. Bring Facts says Sky Stomper, Forum Stomper, Sama Squat, Jammy Dodgers, 2K Decay, Walter White. Are these strands of cannabis you're naming out loud? Let me know, because I have no clue. Good morning, SpongeBob. Good to see you as well. Nate says, I have every confidence in Silvergate. They had the foresight and courage to jump into the crypto space early, and this will pay off eventually and in a big way. I hope you're right, Nate. Much love. If you're asking me, no, that is because I focus heavily on the Bitcoin mining space. That's what's up. So what are you buying, Nate? Ellen asks. Dan says GTX. We live in a damned simulation. It does absolutely feel that way because you cannot make this stuff up. And I'm sure regulators would absolutely embrace GTX. You'd have Gensler like telling crypto investors the safest place to invest. You'd have Jim Cramer from the Money Channel. Hey, GTX looks like a safe bet to park your crypto. You know what I mean? They'd be all misleading you left and right. Nate says BITF. We have CLSK, Riot, Cypher, and an outlier, a highly speculative play in the space. I've been buying up CORZQ since 5 cents recently. Well, keep getting it, fam. I'm developing a bottom. Got to lay off the streets and exercise more, says Bring Facts. Ellen says, I own Riot and bought Tell at $1.80. Nat Gas, bunch of brothers company. Hey, fam, I'm in the background listening. Man down today. I know you're feeling sick selling with twins, so I hope you get well and recover here soon, family. It's not the same without you here. Hut for the Bitcoin balance sheet, and Mara because I think it is a runner once everything comes back online again, says Nate. Ellen says, I bought Rolls-Royce a couple of months ago. It was under $1. Hard to believe. It's one of the best engineering companies in the world. Very interesting to note. I thought you were going to say you just bought yourself a Rolls Royce. I was going to say, congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing something right. Dan says, Nate, MicroStrategy is the closest thing to a spot ETF for Bitcoin in the States if you want Bitcoin exposure and for some reason don't or can't buy BTC. Bring Facts is predicting $22,000 today. I hope you're right. And he's also predicting $222,000 by December. And he's been calling $222,000 for quite some time. So I hope you're right, fam. Wouldn't that be something? Nobody is expecting a parabolic rally to a new all-time high this year, minus a handful of influencers I mentioned a little earlier. But just imagine what that would do to the entire crypto industry. Like bears, their faces would just be melted off in disbelief. You know what I mean? It would be wild. Yeah. All genetics mentioned are Mephisto Genetics. Google Able says Facts. Okay, very good to note. Wow, sorry for that, Sailing. Yeah, wish Sailing some love. Hope you feel better. Renee says Gemini is in trouble, JV. It is not good. It does seem that way. You know, Winklevoss twins who own the Gemini exchange going back and forth with Genesis and placing blame at Barry Silbert. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I know that the debt is now like $3.6 billion, which has to be paid. Definitely not looking good for Gemini. So if you have your crypto on an exchange such as Gemini or any exchange for that sake, take your crypto off the exchanges, put it somewhere safe, such as self-custody is what I would recommend, such as a Ledger or a Trezor or some sort of device like that, which is safe from the exchanges being hacked or the exchanges going defunct and liquidating your crypto or doing very bad things with it, like Caroline Ellison and Sam Bankman-Fried did with their clients' money, which was trade it with leverage and watch it go to zero and watch the house of cards collapse. We don't want that. You know what I mean? There is no support at 22,000, says Kurt. I agree with you. I was looking at that as well, and it doesn't look so strong right now. It seems a lot of this current rally has been from retail investors and not from institutions, especially considering we just had a weekend holiday and all the major institutions and banks were closed. So I'm glad you actually pointed that out. This could absolutely be a fake out. Who knows? I tell people to be prepared for all scenario. I like to keep it real and tell people, I don't know if the Bitcoin price is going to go up today or go down. I don't know if it's going to go up or down tomorrow. I believe in the long haul, 10 years from now, the price will absolutely be up dramatically, and that's not even a question. So I don't worry about the short-term price action. I tell people prepare for either way. If Bitcoin was to collapse back down to 18,000 tomorrow, what would you do to take advantage of it? If Bitcoin was to continue climbing, defying all expectations, even without the volume above 22,000, but it still hypothetically jumped to 25,000, what are you going to do about it? Are you prepared? Be prepared for all scenarios. Any trader who is looking you in the eyes and telling you, Bitcoin is going to crash today, Bitcoin is going, they don't know. They're just speculating, right? Because the future is not determined. There's all possibilities of potential scenarios that can play out. There may be a higher probability, like a 60% chance it goes up versus goes down or vice versa. But for someone to look you in the eye and say, I know it's going to do this, do X, Y, they're lying to you, fam. They're probably also lying to themselves. And it's very unfortunate that a lot of people tune in on YouTube. They're newbies. They don't know any better. And a influencer tells them one thing and they take it for what it's worth and they invest just based upon that feedback. That's why I want to avoid telling anyone the price, which way the price is going to go. Because at the end of the day, I don't know. Nobody knows. You know what? Maybe God knows. That's about it, fam. Just keeping it real. Chinese New Year is upon us, and that usually pumps crypto, says unschool yourself first. I'm glad you brought that out. Ellen says the Gemini exchange is different than Earn. They just separated from Earn on my account. That's right. Of course, they want to separate themselves from that, but they are still responsible. Still, the Winklevoss twins are responsible for Gemini and Gemini Earn. So For what it's worth, keep that in mind. What if it's not a bull trap? Who knows? Exactly, selling with twins. We can just keep jumping up. So what if you've been on the sidelines waiting for a new lower low at $8,000 and never occurs, and now you're saying, hey, don't worry, we're going to pull back here and I'll get my position in. What if you don't get your position in because the market does the exact opposite of what everyone's expecting and anticipating? And then you don't even have a position for the new bull market, and you end up FOMOing in at $30,000 plus when you could have got in, hypothetically speaking, back when it was $15,700, which is the current low for this bull market. I personally believe that anything below $20,000, sub $20,000 Bitcoin price action is probably a good investment for the long haul. And again, long haul, the next 10 years, how can you go wrong if you believe in Bitcoin? You know what I mean? That's the way I look at things. I could be wrong. I may be right. Nobody knows. Future is untold, fam, but that's what makes crypto so exciting. If we knew what was going to happen, that wouldn't be fun at all. I mean, maybe for you, if you're the only person that knew, but if the whole world knew, things would react accordingly to everyone's all-knowing information, and things would change accordingly. You know what I mean? Dragonflower, that's why it's good to have a HODL bag and a trading bag. Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head. Exactly, fam. Yes, they're holding $1,000 on my account and I can't redeem it. I'm sorry to hear that, Ellen. I hope things get squared away, but it's just sad to see. Hopefully that's a small fraction of your portfolio, I would imagine. Renee says, crypto says 3,500 Bitcoin in the second half of the year. Are you talking about Crypto Capo? Is he absolutely nuts? No, Crypto Savvy. Are you being serious? Oh my God, I cannot see a $3,500 Bitcoin. However, if that happens, you better believe I'm going to have some dry powder ready to take advantage of that. But I'd probably buy the dip like crazy. Once it hit 10,000, I'd probably have no money left for 3,500, just keeping it real. And is it possible? Yeah. Is it probable? No. My guess would be maybe a 5% chance of that potentially happening. Just guessing. Let me know your thoughts. That's why yeah, man, exactly. Ellen says, yes, year HODL should be in a cold wallet. That's right. Yes, a tiny portion. And even those who are living off of Bitcoin, if I was out in El Salvador and I was a part of Bitcoin City, I'd have 99.9% of my crypto portfolio in a hard wallet, and then I'd have 0.1% on a mobile app so I can use Strike, and I can make Bitcoin transactions for everyday usage. One thing I will not do is utilize CBDCs, and the reason I will not be forced to use CBDCs and the reason I will not be forced to be microchipped by the World Economic Forum is because Bitcoin is the antidote. I started stacking sats back in 2017, so I cannot be coerced into getting a jab or coerced into using a digital form of money I don't believe in that can be programmed and could expire and things of this nature. So be prepared for what's to come because things are looking grim and things are only looking bright for Bitcoin holders and those of you making big moves today because tomorrow is not really guaranteed. You feel me? JV keeping it real. You know it, Nate. Jovas says $3,500 in people's dreams. Exactly. My dream would be to purchase more Bitcoin at $3,500. However, probably not going to happen. Probably not, but we'll see. Ellen says at $3,500, I'd sell everything, etc. Exactly. We'd have no show today because I probably would have sold my house and I'd be purchasing Bitcoin in mass amounts over the counter or something like that. Chuck Strickland, it's good to see you, family. Welcome, 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 welcome. Don't worry, it's just a tiny fraction, says Ellen. I'm glad to hear that. You're very smart about that. Dan says $3,500 Bitcoin. Go to him for weed advice, not Bitcoin. I love it. You guys absolutely rock. Anyways, now for the big finish, which is a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. We discussed Bitcoin hitting a new yearly high of $21,500. We also discussed Bitcoin on its way to breaking its single longest streak of 15 days in a row on the rise. We already crossed 14 days. We also discussed Silvergate reporting $1 billion in a net loss in the fourth quarter of 2022. We also discussed defunct crypto hedge fund 3 Arrows Capital. Founders are seeking $25 million to start a new crypto exchange entitled GTX. We also discuss Bitcoin forming a bottom akin to the 2018 market bottom, with one key difference according to Bloomberg analyst Mike McGlone. We also discuss the World Economic Forum predicting Metaverse tech will change the industry first, moving to the consumer space later. And we also discuss legendary crypto trader Peter Brandt unveiling his bullish outlook for the King crypto, predicting a $175,000 price for BTC. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments right down below, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show.